Hi Flosstube! Welcome to my channel. This is Bobo Jessie Stitches. I'm Jessie, and this is a channel primarily about cross stitching. Today, just a little bit of quilting content for everyone. Not actually making anything, but a little bit of quilting content. So, how's everyone doing? I am recording this today on Friday, November 10th. My office is closed today. We are observing Veterans Day, which is tomorrow, November 11th. On today, since it fell on a weekend. That's our policy, so I get the day off. My husband is working, unfortunately, though, so I'm just kind of taking an opportunity to kind of take care of some errands around the house, record a Flosstube video, do some laundry, catch up. Really, honestly, though, I'm probably going to spend the rest of the afternoon cleaning up my space in here. You can't tell, maybe a little bit what you see in the background here, but it's been kind of a kind of explosion of things, and so it's time to take a few hours and put things away and that type of stuff. So, but yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. I know I'm a week late. Last weekend was just slam busy, and so I didn't have time to record. So, but I hope that my people who are watching me, who are used to me, are okay with it. And those of you who are new, welcome in. Welcome to this chaos, which is Bobo Jessie Stitches. But you don't know when I normally record, so so it doesn't matter to you. But I hope everyone is having a good time. Everyone's doing well. It is officially November. Can you believe it? I was talking to my husband about taking out our Christmas tree. I am an early Christmas tree person. He is not. He would prefer to wait till after Thanksgiving. But I personally feel that it's so much work. It's so much. I mean, truly, right? Like we don't even have like a super beautiful like Christmas house either. Like the way some people actually really decorate their spaces. But I feel like it's so much work to get your house like Christmas ready that you should just do it as soon as you can. I give Thanksgiving its due, so to speak. A little bit more about that in a second. But like, it's that I feel like get the tree up, like start like putting it out there, and we don't have to put the ornaments up, we don't have to do anything, but that being said, though, we feel like this real sense was, didn't we just put it away? So I feel like the year, it's just I guess common nowadays, and that time seems to be flying, which I do not appreciate. So I just said I was going to tell you something in a minute, and then I forgot what I was going to say. So it'll either come back to me or it won't. Oh yes, no. Thanksgiving is not a big holiday for me and my family, um, and not that this impacts y'all in any way, because it really doesn't. But my dad died in a car accident 2 days before Thanksgiving. It's been 20 years, but it's not. It was a holiday that my dad really enjoyed, and for his passing to have actually happened around the holiday, my mom goes into effectively mourning for the week. We are Buddhist, and so she does some things that is for her, and for me, it's again not a really happy week. So we don't do, my family doesn't do anything for Thanksgiving. My husband's family does, and we do tend to go to his family's house for Thanksgiving, but for us it's not a big deal. So for me, going straight into Christmas is normal and expected, and has been pretty much my adult life, because I was 22 when my dad passed. Anyways, so thus, cheers, my Christmas mug that I bought, because look at all these cute dogs. So let's get into some stitching, shall we? October was crazy stitchy month. Like, it was, I wish I could tell you it was all spooky stitching. It was not, but a good chunk of it was. I ended up working on 16 projects in October. I only stitched for 23 days, and I put in 9,587 stitches, which I think is pretty solid for 23 days. I usually average around 10,000 stitches, but that's usually the full month. Like, that's normally around 28, 29 days. So I had a couple of days in here where I stitched like quite a bit, because we were home and weren't doing anything. And so it was a solid month. But the reason was that for the Fandom Stitching Central, we had a challenge, which was to work on 13 different projects over the course of 13 days over the month. And so obviously I ended up with 13 projects as a result of that. And then there were just some projects I worked on because I wanted to work on them. And so it ended up being a pretty solid day. But let's go ahead and get going. I'm going to show you my one finish, and then I'm going to go in alphabetical order. So I had one finish in five new starts. Most of everything you're going to see as it was at the end of the month. There are 2 projects where I stitched on it so far in November, so you'll just have to use your imagination when I get there. But first up is my first finish, which is dun, 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 Hello Sunshine by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. Here you go. And I will tell you that for every project going forward, you will see a before picture probably in this corner prior to the stitching. But I did finish Hello Caterpillar. Hello. This is Petal or Sunshine? No, this is Hello Sunshine from Hello Caterpillar Cross Stitch. And I worked on this for 2 days, and I put in 928 stitches. And I am very happy to say that this completes a 2023 goal that I had, which was to finish the Hello series by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. And now it is done. Now I can think about how I want to fully finish these. And I kind of have an idea. I probably won't be able to do it for a while, but I do have an idea of how I'd like to finish all of these based on something that I saw from somebody else, which kind of used, they framed it, but they put it on like their fireplace screen. And we don't use our fireplace, at least not right now. We probably will because Texas, and I always worry about like, you go through one winter freeze with no electricity, and now you're worried about like, how do you deal with everything going forward? So we're probably going to make sure our fireplace works, but most of the year we don't. So I'm thinking about doing something like that I saw. But anyways, but here it is. Everything's kit provided, 2/2 on 28 count, Evenweave, with all of the called for DMC. That's a finish. So that's one 2023 goal. It might be the only 2023 goal we meet. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Never say never. There's still 7 weeks left in the year. All right, now alphabetical order of everything that we're working on. So first up, I did work on, and because I worked on these projects for over 13 days, some of them are only going to have just a little bit of stitching in them because I worked on it only just on that day. And that is what it is. So this first up is the Anna Green Gables Sal. This is not the completed picture. The Sal is complete. This is by Stitching Book Club, which is hosted and run by Sapphire Mountain Crafts. I always want to feel like I want to say blue somewhere in there, but no, it's Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts is where it is. But I have not printed the full design. But the stitch along is done, and I worked on this for 1 day. I put in 206 stitches. Wow, this is going to be tough if words are going to be an issue. But here it is. This is what I got done. It's really... I should put my computer in a different place so I can see what you see a little bit better. All right, here we are. So this is what I've done. I am stitching this 2/2 on 36 count linen Pandemic by Picture This Plus. So again, only 206 stitches, so kind of working in that middle border as well as finishing that top border since the last time that you saw it. I will say that while I don't have a problem stitching this on 36 count, if you have not started this and you're thinking about it, I would recommend at least 32 16 count Aida if you're an Aida stitcher for this project. I think that while the design is very nice, I think that 36 count for me, my personal aesthetic, is the stitching is just a little too small. If I was to start over, I would do it on a 32 count. I picked this fabric because I had it in stash and I wanted it on. Her called for was a lighter yellow fabric, and it's the only one I had in stash that kind of met that. And I didn't think anything about starting it on a 36 count. But I do think I think it's delicate. But I probably personally would have started this on a 32 count if I was to do it again. So yeah. Now, next up is going to be Baba Yaga by Autumn Lan Stitchery. This was my focus piece. So that one project you worked on for 13 days, I ended up focusing on Baba Yaga. And so this is what it will look like when it is completely done. I think I had mentioned that I have studied Russian. I am actually going through my Duolingo. I just hit a major milestone, placing first in the Diamond League. That's probably the last time I'm going to try to sustain that level of. You got to do like 7 lessons or something in order to be able to hit that on a daily basis. But anyways, I studied Russian, and so I have an affinity for Russian folklore and things. So this was I really love this pattern. So, but here it is. I worked on this for 13 days. I put in 2,161 stitches into it since the last time that you saw it. And basically you see I kind of finished out into the corner, and I'm just moving towards the center and moving left. I haven't quite decided which way I want to go. Like, I don't know if I want to go this way or if I want to go up. I feel like I'm going to go this way and then go up and do the house at the end, mostly because of the way that this is where the page break is right here, that in order to kind of stitch this part of the page, I really had to do a lot on this side. So I think that's how I'm going to go, but this is probably going to be the last time you see it for a while. I am truly a Halloween 365 kind of person. I like a cutesy, spooky stitch, but I do give Thanksgiving or autumnal and winter time its space. And although you're gonna see in plans in a minute, like I don't quite put away the spooky stitching even in wintertime. So, but I'm probably not going to pick up Baba Yaga, at least until the spring, as I work on more winter and autumnal themed projects. Whew. That Flosstube knows it, y'all. It's real. It's a real problem. Okay. Next up is a new start. I did start, this is my Lucy bean bag, by the way, that I got at the retreat. I love this bag. It's not quite the right size, match everything, but look how cute this bag is. So, next up is Black Cat Hollow. Let me take it out of this packaging. Do I have one out of the packaging? Let's see. Do I have one already out? Because I'm working on... Ah, I do. Here we go. Here's one that's already out. Let's see. Can you see it? Will it focus? There it goes. So this is Black Cat Hollow. It's a 3-part series by Barbara Anna Designs. This was I did at StitchCon, you can sign up for a Surprise Me box. And you fill out a little form and everything. And so this was my Surprise Me box that I got at StitchCon. And so it's a new start. I did start this for my 13 days of stitching, and I am stitching this on 36 count linen by Fox and Rabbit called Prehistoric. And I am using, because of the Surprise Me box, it is a conversion from DMC to silk by Belle Soie? Belle Soie? I don't know. Gloriana's, and then SNCs. I don't know what SNC stands for. SNC, whatever. Silken color. Does that sound right? Let me make sure I got this the right side up. And so, yeah. So here it is. A new start. And that's what I got done. Oops. Sorry. Covered my notes. I worked on this for 1 day, and that's 202 stitches. I did start this. Obviously, it has a middle start, so I'm working on part 2 first to have that middle start. Hold that a little tighter so you can see that a little bit better. I can see why people like stitching with silk. Honestly, it's very nice. It's very easy to do. I have another project that I started that's in silk as well. I gotta be careful. You don't want to do too many. Silk is pretty pricey, and I don't know if I want to go down that path of silk stitching. Y'all know what I'm saying. All right. Next up is Castle Homecoming by not Autumn Lan Stitcheries. Goodness sakes, I do have quite a few patterns by Autumn Lan Stitchery, but by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is not current. There's been 2 additional parts that have been released right in this corner and up here. But this is because I'm still working on this part. I haven't printed the more recent clues. I'm so behind, so behind. But I did work on this for 8 days. I'm trying to catch up. I'm doing my best. I'm working on this for 8 days. I put in 1,591 stitches. And here it is. You can see that I'm still moving. I am moving towards the left. I'm trying to finish this clue that's down here, and I'm moving towards the left. I'm going to try to finish up this part. So going on that. So I am stitching this 2/2 on 32 count. Evenweave. This is oh my god, what is this? Hold please while I find my notes. I'm very professional. This is why I don't have 10,000 subscribers. Let me just take it on my let me just look on my phone. That's where the easiest place for it to be for me to find. Sandcastle by Color and Cotton, and I'm doing this with all of the called for DMC. So there we go. Yes, profesh down here in Bobo Jessie Stitches. I did, if you can see, I have done a conversion, which is I have converted the knight to look like my husband. My husband has a beard and he has dark brown hair, and so I converted him because that's my husband making s'mores with Alfie over here. So I am converting the knightess as well. So I have given her black hair. I can't quite decide what color my skin tone is. Like I've been auditioning. I've been auditioning DMCs. But eventually I will make her look like me. I've also decided that in the clues that there is, because this is Castle Homecoming, and so here in the next, and one of the next clues, there's a castle here, and there's a lady that's right here. I decided that's my mom, and so I'm gonna skin convert her to look like my mom. So this is gonna be my family. The question is that there's a wizard back here that I haven't even gotten started, right? But there's a wizard back here, and opinions, thoughts, if you think, without knowing what the rest of the pattern looks like, right? I was thinking, I'm like, should I convert the wizard to look like my dad? So that's a thought. You know, without knowing what the rest of the pattern looks like, it's I don't know. I'm assuming that that's all the people, but I don't know. Maybe I should hold off. Maybe I should hold off on stitching the wizard until I know if there's any more people that of that scope and size that may show up in the pattern that may be my dad, so to speak. So, oops. Going on and doing this. All right. Okay. It's going to end up being a long video because one of all the patterns, all the projects. All right. Next up is Death Before Decaf by the Witchy Stitcher. I did stitch on this for 1 day. This has part of Witchy Stitcher Day, which was on October 1st. So that's when I stitched on it. And I put in 290 stitches into it that day. Nothing super exciting. Basically, I continue filling in that steam, that coffee steam, all the way down. And that's it. That's all I've done. And I'm stitching this 3/1 on 14 count Aida Eek by Picture This Plus. That's it. This is a gift for my husband. This is he was kind of looking at some projects that I had, and he said that this is the one that he would like, and he would take it into his office to put on his desk there. So I was like, okay, well, I will make that for you. And it is usually the piece that I take with me to the football games, although not always. I feel like I'm getting to the point in the pattern that I need to do some outlining for it to be able to be something I can take traveling. But we'll see from there. All right. Oh, next up is this bag. Is Dr. Georgina Wisdom by Forbidden Fiber Co. So this is part of her steampunk sheep line, and there's a whole story. It is complete, so you can go and look at her website and see everything that the entire line. I am stitching this slightly out of order because as you may recall, if you are returning, I am getting allergy shots once a week. You have to sit around, wait for a little bit, be sure you don't actually have an allergic reaction to the shots. And so I went out of order to pick up Dr. Wyndham because I thought, wouldn't that be fun to see how much I can stitch while sitting around waiting in a waiting room and see how much stitching you can get done. I don't stitch on it exclusively in the waiting room though, and so and you are going to see some additional stitching. This is one of the 2 projects that I mentioned that I did stitch more in November already. But this is where I am. This is everything is called for 2/2 with the Forbidden Fiber Co. floss on 32 count linen. And this is frozen also by Forbidden Fiber Co. And basically, it's again because it's color blocking. It's not super exciting. I finished this little bow in October, and then I started filling in this part of the body, and pretty much everything you've seen since then, everything I've done is filling in that part of the sheep. So that's it. That's my take a minute to be sure I put this in such a way that I don't lose my needle, because you don't want to lose needles. Actually, let's just be savages and just put it in there like so, and then hopefully I'll be safe enough that way. All right. Okay. Takes care of that one. Next up is another new start. I did do an unboxing, and a lot of people got Cassandra's Mystery Spooky Box. I think it's what I recall it being called, from Autumn Lan Stitchery for Halloween. There were quite a few patterns in there. I only started one of them. This year I was like, I'm not going to wait until next year to start. And so I went ahead and picked up the Evening Stroll. So this is a new start, and this is on perforated paper. And I worked on this for 2 days, and I put in 524 stitches into it. But this is also one of those pieces that I have worked on since the end of November. So just to kind of show you, this is where I am currently. What I did for October was that I started working on the Witch, a middle start, started working on the Witch. Then I went down and I filled in pretty much this black part here. And everything else, most of this orange color and this gravestone here, that all was put in since the beginning of November. I'll put in a picture of what it actually looked like at the end of October, maybe. I don't know. We'll think about that. But this is where I got first time stitching on perforated paper. It's weird. It's unique. It's different. I don't know if I like it. But I'm going to get it done because, right, it's paper. So there's no giving. A little harder to finish your stitching in the back. But so far I am enjoying this. It's stitching up really fast, right? Lots of color blocking. Lots of problems for me though. I'm having a hard time counting this. Like I've had, like my count was off down here, my count was up here. Thankfully it didn't require a lot of frogging. It was just more like adding, like I low counted as opposed to counted all the way. So that wasn't too bad, but that's it. That's I don't, again, just like a lot of the other Halloween pieces, I'm not expecting to pick this up. So you may or may not see this in December, even though I have stitched on this in November. But there's a part of me though that wants to finish it because it's going pretty fast and I have all the pieces needed to fully finish it. But we'll see. All right. Next up is Greenhouse of Oddity by Lola Crow Cross Stitch. This is a sal from earlier this year. It is fully finished, and here is the fully finished design. I printed this one, but I am planning on stitching Carver, and this is Darwin, but I'm going to stitch Carver instead. But this is the fully finished design, and you will see completely 100% behind on it. I stitched on this for 2 days and put in 533 stitches. And here it is. Make sure to go back far enough so you can see it. I am stitching this 2/2 with all of the called for DMC on 32 count even weave aloe from the other side by Yummy Fiberlicious Fibers. I think Lola Crow is extremely talented, and the way that she approaches her designs is super interesting. I haven't drop a bag, pick up a bag. I also have the Haunted Library that I haven't even started, and so I'm trying to think about like going into 2024. Oh my gosh, are we thinking about 2024 goals already? That first of all, side note, I'm thinking about doing another no new starts, or at least no new purchases, but I don't know. I know me, and I get like FOMO and that kind of stuff, and I hate like not being able to buy what I want to buy. But I also feel like I got so much stuff that I need to kind of work on stuff, and and I want to give everything the due credit. So, but I'm thinking about next year focusing on Lola Crow just so I can get those 2 designs taken care of and focused on. But we'll see. We'll see how I feel at the beginning of the year when I sit down and see what I got going and what I really want to work on. Okay. All right. Next up is, and again, for those of you who are returning, you know this about me, but those of you who are new, I actually prefer a cutesy Halloween as opposed to spooky Halloween, despite the fact that everything you've seen so far is a bit on the more spooky side. But my next up is another new start, which is Halloweenies by Plum Street Samplers. Here we are. And so I wanted to go ahead and get this. I've had this in my stash for a while. I have the entire Halloween, all of the Wiener series. I have, for years, I had 2 full purebred dachshunds and then the Dachshund mix. And they have all 3 crossed the Rainbow Bridge. But I currently have also a Dachshund mix, a Jack Russell Dachshund mix. And we also have a Chihuahua Corgi mix. So dachshunds are a big part of my life. And I just really would like to go ahead and get these the series taken care of. And so again, this is a new start. I have a big piece of fabric because I'm trying to do the series as much as I can on the same piece of fabric, or the same color anyways. I don't think all of it will happen, but at least at the beginning. And this is where I got to. I'm doing everything 2/2 with all of the called for floss, which includes Classic Colorworks and DMC. Not everything, there's going to be a couple of things that I'm going to substitute with DMC because I don't have there's not enough stitches to warrant the fancy floss for it. And I'm doing this 32 count even weave fog by Pictured This Plus. So again, not a lot, only about 300 stitches, but nothing to sneeze at, right? Right? A start is a start. One step at a time, 1x at a time, right? And then eventually it will all get done. And that is ultimately what we're talking about, right? Plus it's a hobby. It's not really a race, is it? So as long as you're stitching at the pace that you want to be stitching at and getting done what you want to get done, that ultimately is what matters. I don't like having a lot of projects at one given time. I am progress oriented as opposed to process oriented. And so I like seeing something come together, but no judgment for the people who just like stitching, and it doesn't matter if they'll ever see it finished, because it's, again, your hobby, and it's about what makes you happy. All right. Okay. Next up is Here Be Dragons by Modern Folk Embroidery. Here we go. Part of his Dark Crosses series. And I worked on this for one day, and I put in 107 stitches. I am doing this. Oh, here we go. All right. Basically, I just filled in that little bit right up there. So this is 2/2. I am using Plum Shadow by Leo and Roxy. I guess it's now Roxy Flosco. I think they dropped the Leo and I'm doing this on 32 count Lugana Parchment by Coloring Cotton. That's it. This is another one of those that I'm like, oh, it'd be really nice if I can get this done. But I'm not, when I work on it, I enjoy it, but I'm not feeling very drawn to it in the sense of like, I feel strongly that I want to try to get it done sooner rather than later. So it's just going to continue to be part of my rotation as I move forward, and we'll see. Okay. Next up is another new start. This is new start number 4 if you're keeping track, which is Quaker Pumpkins by Liz Matthews. So here it is. And this one is tough. All right, let me make sure I have the fabric color out, because I don't remember what it is. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this, my husband helped me pick the fabric, but I'm very curious as to what y'all think about this. If you follow me on Instagram, you have seen this. But this is, I worked on this for one day and I put in 206 stitches. And I'm doing this 2/2 with a Forbidden Fiber Co. floss conversion on 32 count Lugana Alice's Garden by Yummy Fiberlicious. Look at that. Now, I did a floss toss, and I do think that everything is going to look okay. But that first one, right? Like looking at it, it is, I think, a little blendy, right? But in person, you can see it really well. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. But I'm going to keep going. I think what I'm going to do is that I have enough to be able to jump. As you can see, like in this pattern, this is where I am. I have enough to jump to this one. And if this one still looks really blendy, then I'll probably consider doing a different start on a different fabric. But I think it's going to be okay. I got this problem, don't I? Like, I have a tendency to pick fabrics that are a little bit blendy with the fabric. I don't know. I don't know why I do that. But I'm seriously considering canceling my Fiberlicious subscription, because 1, I have a really big stash. 2, I have a really hard time trying to decide how to use her brighter colors, and I find myself using more of my colored cotton line than my Fiberlicious, and so we'll see. I think, again, I'm pretty happy with Alice's Garden. I think it's going to look really good because even though, so right, it's Quaker Pumpkins, but it says All Hallows Eve. So I wanted it, if you take out the All Hallows Eve, it doesn't look very Halloweeny, right? Like it looks autumnal to me, right? The only thing is maybe, no, that's just a bird. That's not even a raven, right? I mean, I don't think it looks, I mean, it just looks like a bird. I don't think it looks super raveny. But like, so I think that like when you just do that, it just looks autumnal. So I wanted to have a fabric that gave it a little bit more of a spook for the All Hallows Eve part of it. So that was kind of my thought process behind it. Because otherwise, I think you'd lose a little bit of the spook. So, anyways. If y'all think it's terrible, let me know. I do appreciate your opinions. Everyone who kind of commented on Got the Morbs last time. I did toy with the idea of doing a restart with a different floss to see if I would like it better, make it a little bit less bendy. You don't even know what I'm talking about because I'm not showing it. I didn't work on it in October, but yeah. All right, next up is Sailor Moon Squad. This is by Tilting Crafts. The artwork is by Daniel Kordick, also known as Daikatsu. And this one I only worked on for one day, but I put in 911 stitches on it. I was not able to participate in 24-hour cross stitch this year because I had a lot of other things going on in my schedule. But for that one day that I was able to stitch on it, that's what I did. And so here is where it is. My goal for 2023, this is 1/1 full cross on 25 count Evenweave. My goal for this project for the year was to finish Sailor Venus. And you can see what I've done is that you can, like, her bow is becoming defined. So basically I've been filling in the center and the outside. Basically what I do is I pick a color, whatever is happening, I pick a color and then I color complete. So that's how I'm kind of working through on this. It's not how I'm always going to stitch on it. But that's kind of what I've been doing. And so soon we'll get to the blue of her bows. In order for me to be able to complete this, because it's deceptive, right? It's smaller, but this is a lot. This is hundreds of stitching. And I would have to really focus on it. And I don't know if I'm going to have the time to be able to focus on it. I'm going to try to pick 1 or 2 days where we're not doing anything, that we're just at home, and it's a day that I can stitch and relax as opposed to having to do errands around the house, and see if I can do that. If I can put in like 1,000 stitches in a day for a couple of days, who knows? I might be it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, that's deceptive. It's not like that's a lot of stitching left in Sailor Venus. But my goal was to finish Venus this year. So let's see if I can make that happen. Okay. All right. 3 more projects, y'all. I'm telling you, wow, it's already long. Next up, I don't even feel like I'm babbling too much. Am I? Am I babbling a lot? I don't know. Maybe I am. I just babbled, didn't I? Next up is Tonight We Ride by Autumn Lan Stitchery. This was the box from last year. I finally started it in August, but whatever, that's okay. It's our hobby. We get to do what we want to do. But I only worked on this for one day, and I put in 102 stitches. Again, this is just simply for the challenge. I am doing everything called for. As you can see, I just kind of been moving up. I've decided that instead of going down to finish the trees, I'm going to go up and do the moon. And that was kind of my thought process there. And I'm doing this 2/2 with the called for DMC. This is on Pumpkin Patch by BeStitchMe 32 count linen. This fabric is ridiculous. I love this fabric. The pattern for this year is kind of a bit of a callback, and I have another fabric that's not by BeStitchMe. It's actually by Atomic Ranch that coordinates but doesn't quite match. But then it'd be different dye lots anyways, right? So does it have to match? Probably not. Okay. Next up is Tree of Magic by Barbara Ann Designs. So here it is. This is a kit exclusively from Nitka Moscow. I'm going to talk about Russia in a minute when I talk about plans, but this is where we are. So this is a kit exclusive from her. And this is another one of my 2023 goals to try to finish this. And so I'm kind of balancing and torn between focusing on Sailor Moon versus focusing on Tree of Magic. And I think I'm going to end up focusing on Tree of Magic. So for November, I think I'm going to pull this out as much as I can to kind of focus on that theme. But here it is. Everything is called for, as provided by the kit, 2/2 mystery linen. I think this is 28 count linen. Honestly, I think it's dirty by Zweigart, like if I was to guess, but I'm not 100% sure. And basically I have been filling in this branch down here. I love this so much. I mean, those mushrooms are just so cute. And so I think this is doable. I think I can finish this. Like, it's deceptive. It's a lot of stitching, and it's pretty dense, but it actually isn't that much stitching. And so I think I can actually get this done if I just focus on it. So, but I think that I haven't stitched on it in November because I've been trying to not stitch on things that I'm going to show you before filming today. But now that I filmed, this will probably end up becoming my focus piece for various for the rest of the month. So there's that. Are you ready? Final project. 16, 40 minutes in. This is my last project. Also a new start, which is Trick or Treat by Luminous Fiber Arts. I did start this. Everything is, it was the Misty's first Halloween box. And so I went ahead and bought everything from her and got the kit. And so all of it is called for. So I'm doing this. And oops, here it is. That's what I got done so far. This is on 32 count. Is it 32 count? Yeah, 32 count linen. Stonehenge by Forbidden Fiber Co. And this is using the silks. What silks is it? Classic Colorworks. Belle Soie Classic Colorworks is what it is. And again, talking about Black Cat Hollow, stitching on silks, super nice. But again, like, do I really want to go down that path? I like, if you watch Misty's Flosstubes, she does occasionally talk about, like, if you're interested in stitching in silks, but, you know, recognizing the expense and stuff like that. You know, her recommendation, which I think is an excellent recommendation, is do it on the smaller projects where you can complete the project in 1 or 2 skeins as opposed to having a full-on project. And she has a lot of great little small projects that work really well with 1 skein of silks. And so, so consider, so that might be a way to get your silk fix in without breaking the bank, so to speak. But this was a new start. I think I told you that. 3 days, 808 stitches. If I was repetitive, that's okay. That's it, y'all. That is all of my stitching that I did in October. Phew. Long video today, just simply because I had so many projects to talk about. And we haven't even talked about plans or things that I purchase. But before we go into things that I purchase, let's deal with some business. I don't remember the code word, so I'm going to go back and watch the video. But in the last video, I did offer a giveaway of Autumn Lan Stitchery's A Spooky Stroll. I understand it's after Halloween, but as you know, Halloween 365. So I am going to insert the video here of me doing a screenshot of me doing a random comment picker for, was it Stroll? I think it was Stroll. I'm going to go double check, don't worry. And I will tag whoever it is down there. And, you know, hopefully you're on Instagram and can message me on Instagram your address, and I will get this into the mail to you. And if you want, I will share with you my Forbidden Fiber Co. Conversion. Basically, if there's not something written there, I use the DMC. So, but I will even include my little post-it notes. So, insert video now. Okay, everyone. I did look it up. And the keyword is spooky. So here it is, random comment picker. And everything's included. So let's go ahead and see who it is. Ooh, 8 comments. 8 people who commented. Sue Gonzalez. You are our winner. Congratulations. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I believe we are Facebook friends, or not Facebook. We are Instagram friends. So please find me on Instagram and let me know. And congratulations! I can't wait to see what you do. All right, see y'all in a second. Congratulations! Y'all know I'm just like recording this straight through, so I don't know who it is. So, but congratulations to whoever you are. Please comment on. Message me on Instagram. If you can't, and if you don't have an Instagram, just let me know and I will figure out a way to get your address. All right. What next? Should we talk plans? Things I purchased? I'm going to talk plans. Let's talk plans. So November is autumnal month. It's Thanksgiving month. So my plans I don't have any like hardcore plans. As you already heard, I'm going to try to focus on my 2023 goals, which hopefully I can put in 1 or 2 solid days, like solid like 5-6 hours of stitching on Sailor Moon Squad. I'm going to focus on Tree of Magic, trying to get those done before we go into December, which completely changes everything, right? But that's going to kind of be my plans. I also am signed up for the Jingle Ball. Tickets still available. It's a virtual retreat hosted by Lindy Stitches, and there's tons of designers participating. I went last year. It is come and go. Like, you don't have to plan to block out your whole day. So don't worry about that. But it was a lot of fun. I'll let you know, last year I didn't go into a single stitchy room. I spent my entire day in the Jingle Ball attending only the designer events, where I was going to their events where they just kind of answered questions in a room, talked about their stuff, and that in and of itself was worth the $10 of attendance, whether or not you do any classes or do any shopping or anything, right? There are exclusive patterns. I bought patterns. I haven't even started those, like, right? Like, but if it's the, for $10 and whatever that conversion rate is, and if you happen to be available, and it is over the course of the weekend, like starting at, I think it's 6 p.m. Friday evening on December 1st, but it's all day on the 2nd, and then like half day, I think, or on the Sunday. So it's a lot of time. So, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, and of course everyone's budget's a little bit different, but $10 for me, it, even if I can only go in for like, 2 or 3 hours, when you divide that up into like, that's like $3 an hour for some good value of work, of seeing some people, I think is kind of worth it. So don't feel like you have to participate in everything. Now, I am taking 2 of those classes. I am taking Misty's Luminous Fibers Arts finishing class on making an ornament. And I don't have any of the stuff here with me, but I'm going to be working on that. So I'll be taking that class. I think because I watch Misty's Flosstubes, I think her finishes are so good. Like, not that other people's finishes aren't good, but I really like the way she finishes things. So I'm really kind of curious to see how she teaches and how she finishes an ornament. Because again, I think that it's very cutesy. I think that our personalities are not the same, but like our aesthetic for design, I think, is the same. And so I'm really very excited about that. I also, just in case you haven't figured this out about me, one of my favorite designers is Frosted Pumpkin, and so I'm also taking their class on Season's Greetings from the Fox family. That's the line that they've kind of started last year in the Jingle Ball. So I'm taking their class. So Misty's finishing class is on an ornament, and the pumpkins, they're going to be doing a flat finish. And so I'm going to be preparing for those. I've gotten the kits for both of those. So I've going to work on getting an ornament ready for the class and a postcard finish for the pumpkins class. So that's going to be my focus in November. I also have signed up for Lola Crow's Creepy Christmas Sal. So just in case you thought it wasn't going to be Halloween 365, of course I brought in some spooky Christmas. I have one thought for December as well, but for November, my spooky Christmas is going to be working on Lola Crow's ornament Sal. I haven't even started that one yet. I haven't started any of these. I did put an oval for the Jingle Ball, but that's what I'm going to be working on. The other thing I'm going to be doing is preparing for Flossmas. So sneaking this in for those of you who just kind of hopped away and were like, oh, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know who watches all the way through. I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to give away the Frisian Band sampler from last year that I got from Evertotes. So this is, I'm not giving you the floss. I'm giving you just the pattern. So last year I did do Stitch Along with Evertotes, and I finished it. And so I'm going to send you all of the cards. And now obviously I'm going to probably be filming on December 1st. But that's when I'm going to do the drawing. And I will mail you everything. I will send you the card with all of my writings of the colors and everything, so that way if you want to, so that way you can know it if you want to know it. But I am, this is what I'm going to send. Actually, I'm going to pause for, here it is. So this is the Frisian band with all of the call for floss from last year. So this is my finish from last year. I did keep along with it. And so just a reminder of what it looked like, since I don't have a complete picture there. So if you are interested in it, let's go with the word band. So put the word band in the comments below, and I will do my Christmas giveaway for the Frisian band from Evertotes. And it's, again, I'll send you all of the cards with it. All of the giveaway rules apply, as you know. Be sure you can give me your address, be an adult, all that good stuff. And that will be my Christmas gift to one of you for this year. I don't care where it is. I will mail it anywhere in the world. Just be aware that if you are, I am coming from these United States. Why do we say that? Why do we say these United States? I'm coming from the United States. And so if you happen to know that mail might take a while to get there, or there's going to be problems, that's on you. I make no assurances of value. If it gets lost, it gets lost. I'm not replacing it. All that legalese language that you hear when people do giveaways now. But let's go with the word band, B-A-N-D. And I'm going to write that down so that way I don't make the same mistake I did with the spooky stroll and don't remember the word. So the word is band. Pretty sure it was spooky. I don't know. I'll have to go rewatch the video. Anyways, so I would be very curious. This might be a way to do it that makes it Christmas themey. Is that do you have a favorite band, or do you have a favorite holiday song? Not necessarily Christmas. Maybe it's a Hanukkah song. Maybe it's a pagan song. Maybe it's a Halloween song. Do you have a favorite holiday song? And then tell me the band that it's by. By the band, blah. Right? So that might be a way that you can sneak that in there. So there you go. That's going to be my Christmas gift to you. But it has part of that, right? We're talking about preparing for Flossmas. So what I'm going to be doing for Flossmas is, I don't know. I actually don't know. But this is what I am thinking about. I have 2 Advent boxes that are coming in. I have the Caterpillar cross stitch box that's actually over here in the corner. So I'll be opening that up every day. And I also have a box coming from the Night Stalkers Calling, which is a floss box. I will be going on vacation in December, and so I'll be taking what I can with me and filming on the vacation. I will be doing a vlog style for Flossmas. So, some days it's probably going to be 5 minutes of just like me opening stuff, telling you what I did my day. And then other days, hopefully I'll have some really good videos or pictures of whatever I did as we head towards the Christmas holiday. And so there's going to be that. I'm going to create my own, I'm going to put it in quotes, right? But my own little Advent calendar, which is part of November. This is why this is part of plans. Part of November and preparing for Flossmas is I am going to do a daily influencer Advent calendar. And so I was inspired by my friend Sarah, which is I Swear I'm Stitching. If you're not watching her, go watch her. But she inspired me where she kind of went through and talked about all of her Flosstubers that she watched. So I'm going to go through and create a list of 25 influencers, the people that I watch, and draw a name every day and highlight them, so that way you can go see who I like and who I think are my stitchy friends and check them out. Some of these people are going to know who I am, some of them aren't, and that's okay. But these are people that I like to hang out with online in the Flosstube community. Oh, and Instagram. There's going to be some people who are only on Instagram that I might pull in there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare for that. And don't worry, for my friends who are very worried about this and were sad that I did not do it in the last video, I am also going to be doing a joke Advent calendar. So I'm starting to pull together all of my holiday themed jokes and to be able to share that with you. And then also, I kind of struggled with this a little bit, just being honest. I didn't know what I wanted to do in terms of stitching content, because December, I am probably going to continue to stitch on various projects and try to reach goals and stuff like that. But I do like to do something that is themed in December for the holiday. As I mentioned, my family is Buddhist, so we celebrate a secular Christmas. But I do love the season. I enjoy Christmas specials. I enjoy carols and everything. And so I am thinking about what I can do. And so I am going to stitch over, but I didn't buy a stitchy something that's stitchy. There could be something in Caterpillar's cross stitch advent calendar. I don't know. But I didn't buy anything like the band. I didn't do anything where I would be stitching every day on a Christmas themed thing. So I was like, well, what can I do? And this is not going to be something I can finish in the course of the month, I don't think, although I'll figure out some planning to kind of go from there. But I am going to stitch Owl Forest Embroidery's New Year Sampler. It has my focus piece in December. And the goal is going to basically be to do a motif a day. Again, I'm not sure if that's going to be, there's more than 25, right? So I'm not going to be able to finish it. But we'll see. So my goal is to kind of do like a motif, and the goal is going to kind of be to move towards the alphabet. It's hard to see, but so this is English. I got the English one. Or Latin alphabet, I guess. So there's the A, right? You can see the A right here. So the goal would be to stitch these holly. I'm going to get towards the A. Then the next day, gift those packages towards the B. And basically, to kind of work towards whatever the motif is next to the letter of the alphabet as you move forward. Again, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it, but that's going to kind of be my goal. And I do have the floss pack. At least I'm pretty sure I bought the correct floss pack. It says Navodnaya Simya, which is New Year's sampler. So I'm guessing I bought the right floss pack. And then I'm going to be stitching it on Spice Honey by Color and Cotton. And that's on 32 count. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Now I'm going to take a moment to talk about some craftivism ideas here and thoughts. I purchased Owl Forest Embroideries kit as well as Nikon's Moscow Tree of Magic box before the war on Ukraine. And so I already had all of this prior to that. I am not here to knock down the designers and our cross stitch family over in Russia. That's not my intention in any form, shape, or fashion. But I am going to take a moment to say the war on Ukraine is still happening. They are still fighting for their freedom and preventing an invasion from the Russian government. The sanctions are still very much in place. I am not choosing to purchase anything from Russia, even though they have done a lot to bypass the sanctions around allowing for international support of purchases within the country of Moscow. So I want to take a moment to say that, which is that there is this war that's happening. I do not want to forget that the war is happening. And even though I am working on projects by that are available or by a designer in Russia, that I purchased this before. And I don't want to level them down because they didn't start the war. I don't know their political points of view. I'm not here to think about their points of view, but I'm not here to harm their business. But I also would not purchase this. Even though I may see it, I may want it, I am not going to purchase it to work on it. And so, the hope is that by me stitching on it, when it's a way for me to remind you right now that there is a war in Ukraine, the sanctions are still in place. A way to support the Ukrainians is to support the sanctions. But it's, but also, but I'd also want to be sure that they're not forgotten ultimately. So, if any of my friends who are really into craftivism are going to tell me that that's a bad idea, that highlighting the Russian designers is a violation of the sanctions, please let me know. I'm trying to be balanced here. I'm trying not to hurt a small business, but at the same time recognizing it. So, by me doing this and reminding you that the sanctions are still in place, the war is in place, please don't go buy this, because a way to support the Ukrainians is to not purchase from Russia, but by me stitching it, you can kind of live vicariously through me. And then when this war ends, we will be able to come in and support our cross-stitching community in Russia and help rebuild their businesses afterwards. You know, so I haven't talked about politics. I don't think it's politics, right? I think this is craftivism. I haven't talked about some craftivism in a bit. You know, I may lose some of my new subscribers that I've gotten by bringing this up. If you haven't watched my older videos and know where I sit on some of my positions on things, you know, but I'll take a moment to say that I am a person that believes that, you know, let's not hurt people. Like, ultimately, at the end of the day, let's not hurt people. People are just trying to live their lives. And, you know, and your feelings and beliefs, you can have your feelings and beliefs, but your feelings and beliefs should not come at the harm of other people. And that's kind of where I sit on, you know, and honestly, that's really kind of my driving focus on a lot of things. So don't hurt people, you know, let people live their lives. So, but that's that. All right. I think that's everything on my plans. My notes. Yeah. All right. Things that I got. So some stitching, non-quilting related content. Like, let's do my stitchy purchases first. All right. So let's start there. First up, I got a new Jasmine bag. I really got to worry about my obsession with weird spooky things because I do a lot of these. But look at this bag. Look at this mood. Like, it's like various murders. It's like murders. But look, I mean, look. It's so, like, it's like poish, right? Like, it's all poish. But I saw it, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised that it was still there by the time I saw it. But anyways, I've been using it to hold all of my purchases for for the month, so that way I had it all collectively together. So first up, I did buy the called for fabrics for Little Crow's Cross Stitch. So here it is, Elephant Run by Fox and Rabbit, 36 count linen. Very nice shade of gray. Still part of Fiberlicious's Fabric of the Month Club, and so this is October's Fabric of the Month Club, Autumn Breeze. I get the 32 count linen. It's almost like a lightest version of Alice's Garden, isn't it? So there's that. You gotta watch me put everything back together. And then I did get I'm in the neutrals for Color and Cotton. I have switched to 36 count linen to try to build that stash up. And here is that one. And this is called Overcast from Color and Cotton. So that's that Fabric of the Month Club. Really very nice. If I had not bought Elephant Run, I think this would have been good for Lola Crow's pattern. Okay, so those are the fabrics that I bought for this month. Then I am part of Crazy Annie's Finishing Club. It's every other month, and so I did receive October's, and it's from Lady Dot Crates. So here's some black velveteen. So this is a spooky themed one, and as you can see, here is all of the accoutrement, so to speak, the trimmings and crinkles happening right now. You get to see everything at the same time I do. So the charms that is, we have a little hat, a acorn and leaf, and then a key. And then the various trimmings, there's some black and white and orange baker's twine, some bric-a-brac purple, some Chanel trim in this kind of lime green, and then some pom-poms in black. So, as always, I've been really happy with these little, with these finishing packs. I've used one of the packs for to finish my ornaments that I made, my patriotic ornaments that I made for the Fisher house. That if you watched me before, you would have seen that. And so I'm hoping that by having gotten these and having a little bit, that it will encourage me to do a little bit of finishing. The problem is that I don't finish I don't have a lot of smalls. And so it doesn't quite work, right? Like when you don't have smalls to make them into little pillows and stuff. Maybe that can be a goal for 24. Let's think about that. We'll think about that. All right. And then next up was that I did get the packet, the kit, as I mentioned, from Luminous Fiber Arts for her finishing class. And so so here's all of the little trims in piece. So it came with the floss except for the DMC. I don't have the fabric with me, so you'll just have to see that a little bit later. Here's the little needle minder that came with it. And has a fun little gift. Look, she gave us little gift labels, and this is her art. Isn't that cute? I love it. I was like, aw, definitely, like, it's one of those, like, it's super cute that you're like, do I want to use it? But then, of course you do, because that's the whole point of having cute things, right? Is to share them with other people. Oh, I don't know. You can be selfish and cute things. And then last but not least, I did purchase some needle minders from the box of oddities. So I got these 3. That's a Sailor Moon inspired one. And then there's Bee and Puppy Cat. This is Bee. This is Puppy Cat. It's a little animation on Netflix here in the US. I don't know how widely available it is. It is a slightly absurd animation. But it's so funny. It's so funny. And I do recommend it if you kind of like quirky kind of animation. So that's my cross stitching stuff. Then I went to the quilt show. So here in Houston, I'm lucky I live in Houston, and the largest quilt festival in the world, I think. May not be. I think there might be one bigger in Europe, but that one's not annual. But this is the annual one, and people from all over the world come. Although it was a little smaller this year. I talked to a friend of mine, and she said that the industry itself has shrunk quite a bit due to COVID, and so that's a little sad and disappointing. And I hope that it does recover. But I did go to the quilt festival, and I made some purchases while I were there. Nothing super exciting to share with everybody, honestly, but I'm going to go ahead and share with them. So they have these bags that you can buy. Every year there is like one for a quilt from the show. And I don't buy the current year's bags because they're expensive. They're $20. But I buy the past year bags at $5. And so I went ahead and got 2 of them because these are amazing shopping bags. They're great grocery bags. So I went ahead and got those. I bought a bunch of zippers because I have a lot of fabric, and I'm thinking I should make some project bags. So I went ahead and bought just a selection of neutral toned zippers. Then I got there was a place that sells organic floss. They were super smooth and silk, so I went ahead and bought 50 weight to use for stitching. For piecing purposes. So I went ahead and got that. That's from Scanfill Organics. There's that one. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't know why it matters, like, if I show you all that. But anyways, then let's see what else I got. What I got in my bag. Most of that is. Probably should have prepared a little bit better rather than doing like some kind of Mary Poppins bag reveal. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's everything. Everything else, that's all my purchases. I got this super neat fan. This is from, this is an African import. I don't remember the name of the company, but I mean, it's a good footprint. Like, it's not something that is easily like stick in your purse, but I don't know. I think you can, depending on how big your purse is. Look at this fan. And then basically, you use the little do to hold it in place. But like, look, I mean, my eye caught because I love brown and blues, and so this was kind of something that I was just like drawn to. But like, what a great fan. Houston is hot like 98% of the time. So having something where if you're just out and about and you need a fan, this I think is, I mean, I have like a little baby like paper fan that I keep in my purse during the summer, but this is like something that's solid you can take with you. And it's pretty, right? Then I got this pattern, this quilt pattern. Not that I need another quilt pattern. I have a lot of quilting projects in the works and a lot of kits in the works that are not in the works that I need to start. But when I was walking by, I was just really drawn to the quilt. I just think it's just a beautiful quilt. This is the one I saw in person. This again, I like browns and blues, but I think look how different that is compared to that one, just because in choice of colors, right? And so, but that one's the one I was drawn to. Let's see if I can get a little closer so you can see it. Yeah. So that is probably the version I'm going to create if and when I finally get around to quilting. So there's that quilt pattern. I also bought this, I guess it's a kit, but not really. So this is a little pattern to make basically a pop-up trash can, right? Like it's a fabric trash can and it's like a springy thing. And so like, you know, you can play like bouncing things, and she gave you like a little thing and a little elastic to go with it. But I thought that, you know, all it needs is a fat quarter. And since I am working on designing my quilt room and everything, I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice to have one that actually matches the room instead of buying just one that you needed. She did have it in 2 different sizes. I went in and bought the small version of it. Had something I could easily put on the side of my table. And 2 more things. I did buy some earrings while I was there. These are quilt-inspired earrings. Again, browns and blues are my favorite color, even though I don't wear, you know, it's strange because I don't really wear a lot of browns and blues, but they are my favorite color. But so basically she makes these kind of quilt patterns out of clay and then designs them into different types of earrings. This one is obviously folded into kind of a teardrop kind of look to it, but look at that. Isn't that beautiful? But you can see that it's effectively a log cabin pattern. If you're a stitcher or a quilter, you know what I'm talking about, but it's basically a log cabin that's under there. And she made it into these earrings. So really happy with those. And then last but not least, you can't go to a quilt festival without buying at least one piece of fabric. And I bought one piece of fabric, and this is the fabric that I bought. Look at that. How can you not? Look at these Shibas or Shibus dressed up in various things with like a little festival mask. Like, and there's some like y'all like. And look at the app. Look at the pig. Look at the pig right there. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is this finger. The pig right there. Right. So this is not going to be my pop-up, even though you may feel like it. I'm going to make a project bag out of this one. So, is that everything? That is everything Stitchy related. Wow, this is long. It's going to take me forever to... There's going to be no housework today. By the time I finish editing this, it's already 2:30 in the afternoon. By the time I edit this and start working on the uploads, it's going to be time. We're going to the opera tonight, so... So, anyways, all right. But that's all my stitching content. I will see you back here on December 1st for video 1 of Flossmas. This one will be a longer video. I'm hoping December 1 is not going to be too crazy of a day. It is on a Friday, so I'll probably take a half day and record prior to the beginning of the Jingle Ball and film Flossmas number 1. And then hopefully, all being well, we will do Flossmas every single day, uploaded every single day. But I'll see you then, for those of you who are here just for the stitching content. Now, for those of you who like to stay for my silly stories at the very end, thank you so much for hanging out. Here's my life update. Not really a life update. I just I try to share a story from the month that is, I think, a silly part of my life or a fun part of my life that you may or may not find interesting. So October was a lot of stuff happened in October, and I just realized I may be sharing a story that's really a November story. It's not. It's an October story. But lots of things happened. So just kind of quickly on my October story. So first of all, we ended up going to the Texas Renaissance Festival. I was a person who worked at the Texas Renaissance Festival, one as a child and then as a local for 10 years. So I have a lot of love for the fair. And so we ended up going, and one of the challenges that I ended up doing for Fandom Stitching Central was that, have y'all seen that trend of people kind of posting pictures of holding various items the way that men hold their fishing catches, like their fish after they catch it? And I've been seeing it a lot with librarians, where librarians have been holding books the way that you would do this. And so we ended up doing a challenge in the Fandom Stitching Central of like, hold your cross stitch pattern the way that Smeagol holds his fish from Lord of the Rings, because the theme is Lord of the Rings this year, and or the way that Gollum holds his precious. And so I'm going to insert a picture here of that picture that I took while I was at the Renaissance Festival, of me impersonating Smeagol holding his fish as I hold up one of my finishes, which was the Halloween wreath by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So that was kind of one of the things. But my funny thing about October was that my karma, or my husband's karma, was like super good. Like, we were getting so much good luck in October, and that we were just kind of, what is happening? So first we went to our football game at the Texans, and we got our parking pass upgraded. So we are subscribers, so we do have a parking pass. It is not the best, but not the worst. And so we're in the lot that meets that is in the same area with the stadium, but we end up parking really far away, and it's a lot. Like, it's a big walk. I have knee problems. It can be quite a bit, but we got upgraded to the, not the best parking, but the second best, and was like, what? And it happened to us twice. 2 games in October, and both times we were upgraded to gold. So we were like, what? But that's not the best part. We ended up going to go see the Foo Fighters, which was a bucket list concert for us. So we have not, I have never seen the Foo Fighters. My husband had, but they haven't been to Houston in like a decade or something. Like, we don't know what it is. They just don't come to Houston. They've been to El Paso, but they haven't come to Houston. And so they were in Texas to perform at Austin City Limits in Austin, ACL festival there for 2 weekends. They ended up booking a tour date, a show date, in between their 2 performances here in Houston in our 713 hall, which is our smaller venue, about 5,000 people, which, I don't know, the likelihood that you're going to see a band of the size of Foo Fighters at this point is such a smaller, it's not a bar, right? Like, it's not a bar venue, but it is a smaller venue, a more intimate venue for a band of that scope that probably can do stadium tours at this point, is like, wow. Like, we were so fortunate to get those tickets, and we were really happy to do that. But the fun story of that evening was that we were in line for merch, and so we collect pins, like push pins, to put into a cork board. Like, that's what we collect now. We used to collect ornaments, but if we can't collect ornaments, we collect a pin. And so we were in line to get that, and my husband got a shirt. And when we got up to the line and we were making our purchases, a woman comes up to us and says, if I pay for your stuff, will you get me a poster? And I was like, is this for real? But she had her credit card in hand. And so we're like, sure. So we ended up getting something like $7 worth of merch for free from this lady who just didn't want to stand in the line. So thank you, random lady, for our merch. So we were like, what's happening here? So anyway, so October ended up being a really good karma month for us. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I try to be a kind person, not a good person, a kind person. I try to live in the world in a way that people know that I am hopefully a safe space. Not safe space, but a person that we're all just trying to get along in this world. We're all just trying to live our best life in a way that we hope that we can get through it happy with family and friends, and just have a good time, right? And not suffer. I mean, I think that's what all of us are trying to do. So I try to treat people in a way that I would like to be treated, and with kindness and empathy, and I don't know. Maybe all of that was just coming through. I don't know. Or I smile at everybody and everyone likes my smile. I don't know. But anyways, I hope that, may you have similar blessings or karma or whatever it is that you think, where people are also being kind to you, and getting the type of um, the gold pass was spectacular because my knee has been bothering me, and not having to walk so far was something I needed it at the time. I have a doctor's appointment next week to hopefully try to deal with my knee problems. It's an old injury that's returning, I think, and I think I just need to get back into PT for a few months and get it resorted. But it's so it came at the right time for me to be able to save my knee. And not that I need merch from the Foo Fighters, but it was we were that was also quite a nice little perk, right? It made us happy. Like it was because of my knee, I had to ask for an accommodation at that concert. So even though we actually bought really, really good seats or open floor seating, and we should have been able to have a really good view of it, because of my need to sit down, I couldn't stand for the concert. And it was a standing room only for the ground level. I ended up at the third level, so I ended up sitting very, very far away from the show. My husband stayed on the ground, and he actually was able to experience the show in a way that he would really want to, as I didn't ask him to stay with me, but I ended up at the third level. So even though we paid for first level seating. And so I like to think that that is also something where the universe was kind of being responsive, being like, you're not going to get the best Foo Fighter experience because of your knee. So here, have some merch on us. Have some merch on the universe. So that's what I like to think. Like somehow, like my positive energy that I try. I'm not perfect at it. I don't do anything, but everything I try to put out has come back. Anyways, don't forget band. Tell me your favorite Christmas song or holiday song by the band that performs it. And and I'll see you on December 1st. And wherever you are, I hope you are having a stitchy good time. If you are in the United States, and if you celebrate, not everyone does, but if you celebrate, I wish you a very, very happy Thanksgiving. May you be filled with turkey if you eat said turkey, or me, I'm a sides girl. Sister Schubert rolls, anybody? Whoop whoop. All right. I'll see everybody in a few weeks. Take care.